You have such an interesting story. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in business. I know you had that event company there. Give us a quick story about how that started.
It started as naturally as you can imagine. It wasn't that I woke up one day and said, "Today I'm going to start a big music festival business." It wasn't like that. It started naturally. So, what happened was I loved getting people together. And by doing that in a very small way, it grew and grew and grew. And the story before that was actually that I was kicked out of the country I was living in at 19 years old. I ended up in a new country I knew no one in, and that's the platform I had to launch myself from. So I was living in the USA and I never stayed illegally. I wasn't there illegally at all. I left on time to go renew my visa. And I was renewing it with my whole family. I was under my parents' visa and I had to go. And I think I lost you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. I had to go and renew. So normal, we go to renew. My parents got the renewal, I didn't. Why? Because I'm now 19, I'm no longer under my parents' visa.
That makes
You have to
sense.
apply on your own. So I end up in South Africa, knowing no one, applying to go back to the US, and I get denied because they said, "Look, we don't see any reason that you would not stay illegally. You're going to come in as a tourist and you're going to stay." Of course, I wasn't, but they have to look at it from the viewpoint of, do you have ties to your home country? My home country being South Africa. No, I don't. I grew up in the US. So what ties do I have to anywhere besides the US? So long story short, it took 3.5 years before I ever went back home. I was stuck in South Africa, knowing practically no one. There was a few people I knew here and there, but no real friends. I was living with my grandma in her little apartment and just trying to figure out a platform as a 19-year-old from which I could build. Long story short, again, it ended up being some of the largest music festivals in the country that are a household name to this day. And that's how I got started in business. It was a wild ride.
I watched one of your other interviews, and one of the pieces of advice you give is don't be afraid to start small. Like if you think about that 7,000 person music festival and you've never done it before, you're going to get overwhelmed. So what was that first event like? Like you're just like, "Hey, we're going to charge tickets for this party." Like what was that first small event like?
Yeah, no, I started even smaller, okay, like really small. And how it started was not as an event, okay? At the beginning, I was just gathering friends around my grandma's little pool. Okay, my grandma was living in a block of flats, like a block of apartments, and there was a little pool there. And I just said to friends, "Come over." Not even as a party. I'm talking about like a normal Sunday barbecue that people go to with their friends. Like that's what I was doing. But what I was really doing there, without realizing it, is getting friends together, like building a little community of people that will listen to me if I say, "Hey, you want to hang out this weekend? We're all doing this." That was the major value I had. And if I could do that with 10 people, I could do it with 15 people, I could do it with 50 people. And so it started like that, little get-togethers. And then because I started doing that, I got invited because I would. So I'll tell you one thing. I have a rule that I know, a principle of life that is this: communication out equals communication in. I know that code. I still apply it in business to this day. If we don't have enough leads coming in, we're not communicating out enough. It's not the leads. We're too quiet. If I go to a party and I don't meet friends there, I was too quiet. I didn't introduce myself. I didn't talk enough. So communication out is what brings communication in. And that communication in is income. Income can be a new friend. It doesn't have to be money. Income can be an invitation to another party. Income can be a lead. Income can be money, of course. Okay, so it can be anything on that scale. And I had this thing down cold. Communication out equals communication in. That's all I cared about. So because of that, anywhere I go, anywhere, I was meeting people. I would say hi, I would introduce myself. I was communicating out, and I do that to this day. If I'm on an airplane and I go to the back of the airplane, during the flight, I want to stand up and stretch my legs, I'm going to talk to people. I want to meet people. I want to communicate out. So I knew that. And because of doing that, I was meeting a lot of people. And people started to know me. I would end up going to the local bar, the hottest bar in town, and the bouncer shakes my hand, and the owner says hello, and I'm a 21-year-old kid, okay? Like, nothing fancy. I'm just a kid that was friendly to people. So before long, people started, so these owners of clubs were inviting me to bring me and my friends to the club at night. Like to go out to the club, they wanted me to bring people because I knew people. There is no money in it for me yet, nothing. It was just, I knew people. And at one point, my friend said to me, Gal, you know so many people. You got to do something with this. I said, I know, I don't exactly know what yet, but something's going to happen. I know, I'm going to make something happen. What ended up happening was I gathered these people together for these small events. And one day I was at a casting studio because I was doing acting. And I said across the room to someone, I said, my name is Gal. Or they said, what's your name again? I said, Gal. And this guy comes up to me and he said, sorry, before you go, I heard you just say, is your name Gal, you said? I said, yeah, Gal. He said, oh, wow, it's an Israeli name. I said, yeah, that's right. My parents are Israeli. And he said, oh, wow, I'm Israeli. I said, oh, cool. Well, we're all going out this weekend. Do you want to come? And so I told him, come along. I'll put you on the guest list or whatever, whoever I knew or wherever we were going. Turns out that guy was an international model, like a major, like Versace campaigns, like an international model. And he was staying in South Africa in a model house. Because what happens is they'll rent a nice big house and they have many models that will, the guys, girls, that they'll rent rooms in the house and that's how they bring them down and they book work, right? So I said to him, man, you have this amazing house. Why don't we do a get together around the pool? So he's like, yeah, that could be fun, right? So we did that. And so I brought people that I know and he brought all the models that he knows. And that happened. And then I found these other guys doing these other house parties, South African guys. I said to them, you guys are local and I know a lot of people that are coming from out of town and models. Let's combine. We'll do an event together. So we said, okay, so we combined, said, let's do this event together. We did it, like 80 to 100 people came. We barely broke even. And we thought we were the biggest superstars in town. Like 80 people came. It's like we thought we were superstars. And that was a big rule, or another rule, a big lesson that I learned and that I still use. Success is defined as the sum of all validated improvements. Success is the sum. Sum means adding up of all the validated. You say, well done to yourself, validating. That's good. Improvements. So you said, this was good, and this was good, and this was good, and this was good, and this was good. And all of a sudden, I'm successful because I had many, many things that built up towards, oh, I'm successful. Now you have an improvement. Now you have success because of validated improvements. But what do most people do? Most people, especially when they're starting, all they see is what isn't right. I don't have enough. And look at the guy on Instagram that has more than me. And the guy didn't close that I tried selling to. And this isn't, and all you see is what's not going right. We were so naive that and it was a beautiful thing, we thought, we're successful. Everything's good. This is amazing. 80 people. Like, this is huge. We thought we were amazing. It was enough oomph to get us to say, okay, we were going into winter. By next summer, if we really market, we will get, we're 4 or 5 guys here, we will get 300 people. 3 times almost. More than 3 times. We will get 300 people. So we market and we promote and we say, and we get 900 people that shows up.
My goodness.
The whole thing gets shut down by the police. Completely. We didn't, because we were naive. We were kids. We didn't realize we needed events licenses. We didn't know. It gets shut down by the police. We thought we failed. Turns out we didn't. The next day on Facebook, everyone's like, the police won't stop us. That was the coolest thing ever. Wow. We're going, whoa. 3 weeks later, we do another one. 1,600 people come. And we just have this monster on our hands. We really got how to market down correctly. We got a lot of things right, and it just grew. And from there, we started to do other brands and other events, and it just grew and grew and grew and grew.
And how long were you in that business for? I think, was it like 5 years or so? How long were you in that?
No, 10 years. I started in 2013. and I sold my shares like end of 2023, I think. I still have 10% in it. The events are still going. It's still a household name. It's still, the events are
Okay.
still happening. They're happening. But I was involved majorly for 10 years. We went through COVID. Obviously, during COVID, we shut down. We were brought it back from the dead after COVID because obviously all the events stopped. And then when we got it back to a good point, that's when I said, okay, I feel like this road has been a good and challenging one. I made it to the top. Thank you very much. On to the next adventure.
That's awesome. And so now this is your next adventure. Tell us about your current adventure that you're on.
Yeah, so look, it actually was all going in parallel, but because this current adventure grew and grew and grew, I needed to even make more room for it. Back in 2018, I started a finance business, still going to this day. It's over 7 years old finance business. So that's on the one hand, I'm working in that space. We do short-term lending, private credit. We do a lot of different work in the finance space. And aside from that, for many years, my father has been doing business consulting and coaching and personal development for years. And I was helping him in the background all those years with tiny things, helping him here, helping him there. I was involved. I knew what was going on. I learned from him. But also about 7 years ago, I started to now work with clients more, to be a bit more involved, a bit more involved. And I mean, as of the last 5, 6 years, I've been very involved, like fully. And now we do business consulting, we do personal development, we do all kinds of coaching. And my mission, basically, what I'm doing now, my mission is to create 10,000 ethical millionaires.
Ethical millionaires. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so to understand ethics, we need to go back a little bit and to look at what does right and wrong mean. That's the first question. What would you say is the right thing? How do you know if something is right?
Well, I mean, I guess the right thing, right, the difference between right and wrong is right is an action that supports life and love. It's an act
Hmm.
done in the service of love. And
Hmm.
then something that's wrong is an act out of fear that is typically seeking to take advantage of someone or something.
Okay, yeah. So I'll break it down and you'll see that what you answered aligns. And basically, the way I look at it is this, okay? In life, we want to survive. That's the common denominator in life. Life wants to survive. From the little blade of grass that pokes through the concrete that's wanting to survive, to the animals in the African safaris, to human beings. What we want is to survive. But survival breaks down. And if you look at how it breaks down into 8 parts. And the 8 parts are the 8 parts of life. Okay? The first part is surviving through ourself, our hobbies, what do we like doing, getting dressed, brushing our teeth, taking care of ourselves. That's the first part. The second part is family and sex as a means of procreation. So the family unit and procreating and building a family unit around you, that's part of how we want to survive in life. The next part is through groups. So we want to survive through the groups that we're a part of. And a group is defined as a set of people with a common purpose. So if we're all on a plane traveling right now to Los Angeles, then we're a group because we're a group of people with a common purpose. Or it can be the soccer team you're a part of, the business you work in, whatever, any group that you're a part of. And that's part of how we want to survive. We have groups that we're a part of. Above that, there's mankind as a whole. That's another way that we want to survive. If there's white people, black people, Muslims, Jews, whatever, those are groups. Those are different races. They're groups. Everyone together is mankind as a whole. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. That's mankind. If today there was an alien attack on the planet, everybody would forget their current little bickers between who's right and who's wrong, and the mankind would come together against the aliens. So that's mankind, and we have an urge to survive as mankind. If you go and you do a beach cleanup or you do community service, you're helping mankind. So that's part of how we want to survive. Next part is plants and animals, life forms. We need to survive with the plants and animals. We can't without them. Above that is the physical world around us. Literally, your car, the walls, the computer, the physical matter, energy, space, and time around you. Above that is spirituality. You want to survive spiritually. And above that is the supreme being, whatever that means for each person. There's that higher power. And those are the 8 parts of life. And The wild thing is that you will only be as high as the average of those parts. So if you right now are having terrible, terrible family problems, it's going to pull down the business. It's going to pull down yourself. You're not going to take care of yourself so well. It's going to pull down everything. Everything's going to get lowered to that level. If right now you have major money problems, the family will get hurt. You don't care right now about mankind and community service and the plants and animals and the things. It will pull you down. So what does right mean? Right means bringing about more good to more parts of those 8. It's actually a numbers game. So if you have a cure that kills 1 person but saves 1,000, it's right because more parts of life are affected positively. So it's the right thing to do. But if I do something that will hurt someone, like let's say somebody comes to me and says, Gal, you can become a millionaire by selling drugs. Well, I'll make money, but I destroy my family, I destroy other people's families, I destroy groups, I destroy mankind, it's not worth it. It's wrong to do that. So being ethical, what that means is you have a group, and a group decides on what will be the most survival for that group, what will bring about more success for the group. And being ethical is following those points that the group decided will be the best for that group. That's the ethical thing to do, doing the right thing for more of those parts. And so when I say an ethical millionaire, I mean somebody who is thriving in every one of those 8 parts, every one of them, and isn't pulled down by the lowest one, is thriving. And by doing that, on the one hand, yes, I'm talking millionaire as in money, because money, the money is really like a scorecard. And in the same breath, there might be somebody who isn't after making $1 million. Maybe you're after, you're a single mom raising a family. So you're not right now caring about $1 million, but you will bring about 1 million good things and all parts of life will be going well for you. So I mean somebody thriving on all parts of life. And that's what I'm after.
That's awesome. How are you doing with that goal?
Great. Very
Okay.
well. Yeah, we've already created a few millionaires and we're continuing. And it's a big goal, but I love it.
When you're coaching someone, what's a session like that like? Or is it like a group? Is it one-to-one? How do you coach someone through their issues? Or like how do you help them find the solution that will work for them
Yeah.
in their specific case?
No guesswork, first of all. The first thing I do is very rigorous testing of every client. They go through a set of tests. And the interesting thing about tests is that without them, you are a quack, like a fake doctor. Imagine you go to a doctor and he says, I'll guess what medicine to give you. You go to him, you say, I broke my arm. He says, I don't need to do an x-ray. It's fine. Let me just throw a cast over it. You're talking about a fraud. That's malpractice. It's guesswork. It's really bad. So I don't do that. The first thing I do, everybody that comes to me, they go through testing. And the testing is designed to show exactly what's going on, the good, the bad, the ugly. I find through a series of, one is a questionnaire that dives into the details of the finances and a little bit of personal situation. And then there's actual proper thorough testing that shows me what is the personal condition of the person. And I don't care if this is a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, they need to do these tests because they are leading the company. I need to know what's going on with the person leading, what's their viewpoint. Or it can be an 80-year-old guy that's wanting to, for the first time, be an entrepreneur. Or it can be an employee in a company. I need to do the testing so I see where you're at. So first of all, tests. I sit with every single person. I go over their tests with them. And I show them, here's what's going on. Here's what's your strengths. Here are the weaknesses. This is the hidden point that we need to handle. First, yes, there can be many things. But I'm looking for the first thing I need to handle because you could have a headache, you could be hungry, and you could be shot in the leg right now. Well, guess what? I don't think that you care about the headache or the hunger while you have a bullet in your leg. So I want to find the bullet in the leg first. That's the first thing I want to take. Let's handle the bullet in the leg. After we handle that, we'll find the next thing that needs to be handled. And how I do it practically is yes, one on one coaching, yes, group coaching, but the program is called Success Engineering. And what we do in the Success Engineering is I take your tests and I give you something that you need to start learning. We have a huge library of original information, but I'm going to find the specific subject that you need to start with. And I get the person to sit and learn that first of all. And that will unstick them from the problem. In parallel to that, every week we have group coaching, and as needed, once the person's learned my language, I can work with them on specific coaching. And like that, we go step by step, up and up and up. There's no silver bullet. Anybody that tells you it will take just 1 month is lying to you. It's a process of building and building and building, and that's really how we establish real success. Success for real is a long-term game. Any short-term win is fishy. I'm looking for long-term, stable growth.
Yeah, I like the word that you use the words engineering and
Yeah,
building because
yeah,
it gives me an idea of that there's like a blueprint, right? When you engineer, you have to have the blueprint. You know
yes,
exactly why this little screw is in here, or if you're a coder or a software person, you know exactly why that line of code was written that way. I know one of the principles is control and out, control equals income. And
yes.
that is related to engineering, right? Because if you can't engineer and control whatever situation that you're looking at, you can't have the income because you don't know what's going on.
Exactly. So control is the ability, first of all, control will bring about income. Okay, if I can control a sale, I'll have the income from the sale. If I can control the business, I'll have an income from the business. But if I lose control of my business, you think I'll have income? No, I'll have debts, I'll have disasters. So income comes about from control. People think control is a bad thing. They hear control, they think like, whoosh, I'm gonna like whip you and lead you aggressively. I'm a controlling person. No, I'm talking about control as a good thing. Like you want to control your car. When you don't control your car, it's called an accident. So you want to be in control of the car. But let's define control. Control is defined as the ability to start, change, and stop. Control is the ability to start, change, and stop. If I can start the car, change the car, stop the car, I control the car. But if I cannot do one of those things, I don't control the car. If I can start a thought, change a thought, and stop a thought, I control my mind. But if I have a thought that I cannot stop it, I am not controlling my mind. I've lost control. If you can start a sales cycle, change the sales cycle, stop the sales cycle, you control your sales cycle. And that's called controlling the cycle. Okay, a cycle is something that start, change, stop. But many people have things that they have what's called an open cycle in. An open cycle is something that you started, but you didn't complete it. And everybody has those open cycles. So you read the text message and you say, I'll get back to them later. Open cycle. You have emails that you didn't answer. Open cycle. You have a person that you were supposed to send a quote to. Open cycle. You have a YouTube video you were going to watch, but you didn't get to watching it yet. Open cycle. You have a drawer at home that's a mess that you were supposed to organize the drawer. It's open cycle. Your car is dirty. Open cycle. And everybody has many, 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 many open cycles. And what that does is it steals your ability to put attention onto what's in front of you, because your attention, without you realizing, is taken up by open cycles. Open cycles.
I know exactly what you mean because if my inbox is out of control, my email
Mhm.
inbox, and it's at like, I don't know, 100 or 200, it does slow me down energetically. And once I clear it, I feel so much better. It's like, okay, wow, this is great.
Exactly. We say the state of your mind is defined by the state of your inbox. So, yeah.
So as, as an entrepreneur starting out, a lot of the times there are skills that we haven't acquired yet or don't even know we need to acquire, different
Mhm.
areas of business like the finance side, the accounting, the marketing, the sales side. So we're not able to control all those aspects. For a starting entrepreneur, what's your advice to like to tackle that, and in what order? Or is it like it depends on the individual? Like what's that whole process like?
First of all, you must learn to control those things. You must learn them. Though, first, what you need to do is to know that it is possible to learn them. You can. You need to. Okay? Which order? At the beginning, the first thing a new entrepreneur must know how to do is sales and marketing. First thing, you need to sell. That's the first thing. Number one, you need to sell and market and market and sell and sell and market and market and sell. Everything else you'll put into place when you have enough sales and marketing. That's the first thing. You need to become amazing at sales and marketing. But any area that you don't know is disaster. It's a mine, like a mine that will explode at any second. It's a mine waiting to explode. And you have to learn it. And how do I know that you have to learn it? And I'm not just saying it to sound whatever. Because look at most businesses. Most businesses fail in the first 5 years. How many people do you personally know that have started businesses and they closed all the time? And it didn't go right, and they didn't see, and they didn't realize, and they thought, and they've invested hours and years and poured their soul into it and spent money and everything, and it all goes away. How many people do you know that said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, and they end up back working for someone? Is very problematic to start your own business if you don't know. You must learn it. Must. It's like people think that because you opened a business, you know how to do business. It's like saying, because I opened a barber shop, I can cut hair. Or because I bought a car, I'm a driver now. No, it doesn't mean you know how to drive if you bought a car. It doesn't mean that at all. Just because you open a business, it doesn't make you a businessman. It's a profession you must learn. Like you learn to cut hair. Like you learn to be a dentist. It's a profession that has to be taught. And you can learn, or you can learn it through many years of trial and error. But better to learn it. It saves you a lot of time and money and headache and upset and disaster. And
I know that you have an event coming up in Florida soon. Tell us about
yes,
that event. I only saw the pop up. It was very brief,
yeah.
but I want to learn more about it.
Yes, so this Sunday, January 11th, I'm doing a live seminar in Florida that's also streamed online called Design Your Best Year Yet, More Happiness, Health, and Wealth in 2026. And the idea is this: everybody has every year new resolutions or the same resolutions that repeat. They have big plans, they have goals, they have all kinds of things that they put in place. But the problem is they're putting it in place and it's not happening because they lay it down over an unstable operating system, a faulty operating system. The way that they operate day to day has parts that are flawed deeply, and those deep flaws will end up cracking through any resolution. And so what I'm doing there in that seminar is saying, we'll handle the resolutions, that's fine, but let's handle what's at the core. Let's go to the core of why you are failing at your resolutions, because if you fail at your resolutions, then the secret is you probably fail in other things too. So why are you failing? What's the real thing to resolve? And that's what I reveal. And it's something that's one thing, but you don't see it. It's something that seems too simple, but it's the most powerful. The simplest things are the most powerful. It's like if you tell a karate guy, oh, but kicks are simple. It's just kicking, just kick. No, the kick is everything. So it's something that's so fundamental, like a kick, but nobody sees it. And I'm handling that. And on top of that, I'm telling every single person to come with one major problem that they have, something that right now is bothering them, their current bullet in the thigh. Come with that, and we'll resolve that too.
So then, is part of the process to success is solving the bullet in the thigh first? Is that part of the process? And not getting your mind stuck in the noise of all these other little headaches or coughs that you have? Is that part of the success process?
Yes, so there's usually a major bullet in the thigh that needs to be handled, usually. And the way to usually pick somebody out of deep mud is by handling one scoop at a time. But there are shortcuts, and it's not a shortcut of like 3 easy steps and learn in 2 seconds, not that type of shortcut. But what I mean is there's a way to make leaps and bounds, and that's by actually understanding spirituality, and not spirituality in like a kumbaya sense. I'm talking about how do you bring something out of nothing? How do you become you? Powerful, effective. You almost just have to dream it and it happens. And that's a way to just bypass the problems. Because I can be currently with a bullet in my thigh and worried about all my problems, but all of a sudden the house is on fire and the kids are inside. And guess what? The person with the bullet in their thigh is going to start running. They're running in, no problem. They're going to go and get the kids inside. There's stories of people moving. There was a story of a grand piano inside a burning house. It was a grand piano. It was a grand piano that was in the family for many, many generations. The most prized possession of the family. There was a fire. A few kids moved it outside. Okay? The next morning, like 15 firemen couldn't move it. They had to use a crane to bring it back in. So the kids with their big a big necessity level behind them could do crazy things. So how do you do the unthinkable, the most crazy things, but not due to a life and death emergency, due to becoming powerful again? So you need to learn that too, in parallel.
So part of the process is finding that internal spiritual energy that will help you translate that into your goals.
Yes, it's not exactly spiritual energy, because the spirit doesn't have energy. That's the crazy thing. Why? Why do I say that? I know that many people say the spirit has energy, and it's a common misunderstanding. But the spirit is not physical. The spirit is a non-physical thing. Energy is the most physical thing in the universe. This whole physical world works off of energy. So if you say that the spirit has energy, you're basically saying the spirit is just another physical thing. It's not. The spirit doesn't have energy. No. What the spirit can do is bring something out of nothing. Nothing. Now, it's a weird concept to understand. Something out of nothing, from nothing. But the spirit is a nothingness. It's not nothing as in a low, weak, little thing. It's nothing as in endless potential, non-physical. And there's a lot to learn about it, but the unique thing about the spirit is that the spirit knows. Every listener right now, you know. The spirit knows. That's the quality of the spirit. The spirit is that thing that knows. And sometimes there's been situations that you just knew what to do. Or there was a situation that you later said, I knew it. True, you did know it. You actually natively know. And what happens is you are losing that ability to know for a variety of different reasons we can talk about. And it takes away you. It takes away your abilities. So that's what we want to teach, is understanding that subject in parallel with teaching you how to sell and how to market and how to build a business and all that stuff. So it goes together.
So for you, for 2026, what are some of your big goals that at the end of the year you look back and you want to say, I was successful, I did that?
Yeah, I don't have any real, I don't look at life like that. I don't look at life like that. I'll tell you something. I don't try to be successful. I know it's weird, and I'll explain what I mean. Success is a target only for people that are currently failing. I know it's a bit of a punch in the face to hear that, but let me explain, and you'll shift the way you look at this. And now when I say you, I don't mean you, Alex. Anybody listening, yes? So the thing is this. If I say I want a Ferrari, it means I don't have one. If I say I want a hand, it's because I don't have a hand. But if I have a hand, I don't say I want a hand, I want a hand, I want a hand. If you go around and you say, I want to be successful, I want to be successful, and why am I not successful? What you're saying is, I'm failing right now. Why am I failing? I'm currently failing. Because if you were successful, you wouldn't go around and say, I'm successful, I'm successful. You would just have a hand. You don't go around and say, I have a hand, I have a hand. You just have a hand. But if you didn't have a hand and now you have one, then you'll go and say, oh, I have a hand, I have a hand, I have a hand. So if you have a target to be successful, what you're secretly enforcing is that you're currently failing. So then the question is, so what should you do?
Right. So what should you do?
Create. Just
Okay.
create. Just create. Not to be successful. Help people. Go help. Go help more. Go create. Go and just go build. Do help. Grow. Do whatever you can do. But if you say, I need to be successful, I need to be successful, that's the problem. Anybody that makes a lot of money says, I wasn't even thinking about the money. That wasn't my thing. I was just building, or I was just helping people, or I was just doing what I thought was right. They didn't say, I need money, I need money, I need money. No, the people that end up making lots of money, it came to them from out of nowhere. They just like, it happened by chance. I just wanted to do the right thing. I'm not looking at, I need to have a successful year, a more successful year. My mission is 10,000 ethical millionaires, and that's just a number. I just made up a number. I want to just help more and more and more and more and more people, and that's my purpose for this year, is how can I help more and more people, much more than last year. I want everybody to know the message that I'm putting out, which everybody that's listened up till now senses it's different, and that's what I'm after.
So it sounds like instead of focusing on like the milestones or like the physical object or the physical marker of success, instead focus on the creation aspect, the helping aspect.
Yeah, know what your result you're going for. Yes, I have a result in mind. Everything I do, I have a result. So I'm going towards the result. That's what I care about. My result is people that are thriving in every single part of life. That's what my result is. And I'm going towards that. And whatever I need to do to get it, I will do. If I need to go over, around, up, down, my thing is people that have been helped and are thriving in every part of life. So anybody that comes into contact with me, I'm going to do what needs to be done for that to happen. Whether they like hearing what they need to hear, whether they don't like hearing it, whatever is the correct solution for them, I will make one promise, and that is I will help you.
Yeah, I can tell by your energy already. I'm getting energized just talking to you, and I can see now why you threw such big parties. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, bring me along with the party.
yeah.
If people want to learn more about you or learn more
Mm.
about your courses, coaching, other things you do, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, all you need to do is DM me on Instagram or any social media platform. I personally answer. So Gal A. Ezra, Galaezra, Gal A. Ezra, on any social platform, or go to our website, which is gprosperity.com. And we have a ton of free ways that you can just get started with amazingly powerful stuff for free. But the whole thing that we do, it's called gprosperity.com because G stands for guaranteed. Anything that we do is guaranteed. So, and when I say guaranteed, I don't mean, oh, money back guarantee. Cute. What I do is I say, no, no, no. I'm not just going to give you your money back. I'm going to give you your money back plus 10% for wasting your time. Or sometimes I say double money back guarantee. So for example, this weekend's event, which is for that you go to 2026.gprosperity.com, okay? But for example, online ticket to join online is $49. In person it's $26. It's peanuts. It's cheaper than a yoga class, okay? It's like very, very affordable. But the whole thing I'm saying there is if it wasn't amazing by your standards, I'm not going to refund you $49. You're going to get $100 back, double, for wasting your time, because I guarantee the results. If you're going to put in $49, you shouldn't get $49 of value. You should get much more than that. You should get $1,000 of value. If you didn't feel that it was, then you will get double your money back for wasting your time. It's a good investment. 100% return in 3 hours is a pretty good return. You can take advantage of it, but I know that people won't, because I know what I'm delivering there is nothing short of life-saving.
Well, that is a crazy guarantee. I've never heard of anything like that
No,
before.
nobody does it.
Gal, great talking to you today. Thank you so
You
much
too.
for being on the show.
Thank you. My absolute pleasure, and thank you for hosting.
Okay, so that was it.
Amazing.
I'm gonna go back and just cut out the beginning, the end, and then I'm gonna send you the audio file, and then also I'm gonna put it on YouTube and send it out that way. I'm gonna also, for the YouTube description, I'm gonna put your Instagram and your website up there so people can easily find you as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much for hosting. You're a great host. It was really a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.